Hi everyone, in today's video I want to share about a few time tips, tools and tactics, and of course principles of time management. Yeah, I hope you enjoy, I hope you're ready, and it's in part of our back to school series. Yes, time is a vast thing. Like anything in life, time has principles. Time management is more than just timekeeping. No, it's a whole lifetime thing because we see it from the trip that the psalmist shares, like teach us to number our days, that we may apply a heart of wisdom. So you realize that time has principles. It's something that we learn over time. It's a skill we get in life, the part of management, because we all have 24 hours in a day. Honestly, we all have 24 hours. Even though we get in a fix of saying, oh, I don't have time for this, I don't have to become too busy. Yet in actual sense, you still have 24 hours a day, I don't know, 365 days of a year. So the whole thing is that you have to learn this skill. It's a skill that we learn as you go through. So here are a few principles. The principle is, the first one, you are in control of your time. I want to tell you that. You're 24 hours a day. There's no one who's going to rule them out for you. You're in control. Despite the things that you have to do, yes, all that you can do it in your control. You can put other things aside. Yes, you can get to put them aside. But then in actual sense, you determine when to do things and when. Sometimes you procrastinate, and it's like for another day. I have a video on that, on how to beat procrastination. Please do watch my old videos and watch it. And the whole thing is this, time management. So the first principle is that you have to learn how to number your days. You have to learn how to number your time, because yeah, we look at a year, but a year has days, it has months, it has days, and then a day has hours. So most times I am very critical in how I spend every hour. Like, it has come to that place where I have to be critical because I have school, I have a YouTube channel, I have a business out of school, and I have to excel. I'm a leader also, so the whole thing I have to find ways to manage everything and still do it excellently, because that's the whole point, right? Anyway, so the first principle, I've said it, you're in control, you can ask, you can learn. And I think the other principle is that there's time for everything, and that is like all time thing. There's time for everything. There's so many things you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be doing this, you're supposed to be doing this, but there is time for everything. And right now, for students like me, it's time to read books. It's time to, I don't know, finish the semester, excel in that. There'll be other time for other things. Yeah, so that's key. So my first tip for students of my caliber. The first tip in time management is knowing your priorities. Ask me, knowing your priorities, like knowing what you're supposed to do in a certain time. Right now, personally, as students, our priorities: school, excelling, getting the exams okay, passing excellently, like finishing the semester with high flying colors, I can say. But yes, what's your priority right now in life? So the first thing is knowing your priorities. And in the book, I learned some method. It's called the 4-quadrant method in the books for 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in that book, so he draws out a concept of the 4 quadrants. There's the quadrant of important and urgent, and under important and urgent, in the first quadrant there is urgent and important, the things that are so urgent and they're important. For example, if you have to beat a deadline, or if you have a test, it's important and it's urgent. Like, it's, let me say, in a day or 2 days or in a week. It depends on it. It's urgent, depends on like the time limit you have towards it. And then also there's the second quadrant where you have, let me say, these things are important but they're not urgent. Those are also, they're important but they're not so urgent. For example, let me say, like, you have exams in 3 months, or you have, let me say, like, to hand in your dissertation like at the end of the semester. It's important but it's not urgent, like it's not really needed in that second. And then there's this other quadrant where things that are not important but they're urgent. You get? For example, let me say, going to town and buying something. But those things that are not so important but they're urgent, you have to do them. It's part of life. And then so there's this other quadrant of things that are not urgent but they're also not important. For example, let me say, being on your social media, looking through people's pages, or looking through your own work, like things that are not so important, but they're not so urgent. Most times I find myself like lying in that quadrant of urgent and important. Like most times I do tasks sometimes when they're actually due. You have that pressure, right? It's us to knowing our priorities, knowing the things that are important and urgent. So it's always better to do the things that are important and are not urgent, in that they don't end up in the first quadrant in the first place. So the whole thing of time management is knowing your priorities, knowing where your attention is. Because yes, we all have 24 hours a day, 24 hours a day. Yes, we do, all of us. It's like that for all of us. But then where we put our attention, our focus is the thing. So someone can put their focus in some other thing, someone can put their focus in another thing. So that's the difference that it brings about. Due to the point of, let me say, like a student or anyone working or anyone wants to achieve, to a point of to-do lists. This one I'll tell you from experiences. I have days when I don't write a to-do list, and trust me, the result I will know. And then there are days where I really write down what I want to accomplish, and it's not in how many things you put on your list, it's in even in the many things you put on this, there are those most important, because you can even cancel out those ones that, oh, I finished this, and it's not that important, or it's not that maximum, it's not a major item on the to-do list. So even in doing a to-do list, minimize it, put as major things that are to be done, and when you accomplish them, it's better than just ticking off things. Yeah, that's one. It's a tool that I use every day. This is like, I have a bigger vision, a broader vision of my time, like my seasons, my years. But then when it comes to a day, I do a to-do list. I can do one per week. Yes, one per week. And then I can do one for a day, because I aim to finish those that I aimed at the week. If this week I aim to finish my report, then I have to find a way to every day do something, so that at the end of the week I'm done with that. Yeah, so to-do lists are very key. You may take it lightly, but they are a game changer, I'm telling you. To try it out and let me know how it turns out, because me, it has always made my days productive. Another time management tip is one. First of all, notice the hours of your day. Honestly, I count my days, trust me, like the hours of my days, like in the sense of like, I know that when you say from midnight to 6 a.m, those are 6 hours. Let me say if I get and like 7 hours of sleep or 6 hours of sleep, depending on the urgency of my life, like depending on how things need to be done. Yeah, so then I know like, okay, I sleep for this number of hours, or I have classes for this number of hours. What are the hours left? Sometimes I do that. Yeah, curiously, I actually do that. And I allocate time to different things. So the thing is knowing like your hours, being aware of your time and the distractions. So I realize my morning's a bit freer. Okay, like I have classes in the morning, but I'm talking about that morning time, let me say like from 5 a.m. to, let me say like 8 a.m. or from, let me say like 8 p.m. to sleeping time, I can say 11 p.m. or that time. So what I do in the most effective time of my, I have to build a routine in those, like a morning routine and a night routine, where I know that I'm in control and I can basically do the best, get the best out of those hours. Yeah, so building perfect morning routines and night routines, and being aware of your hours of the day, and being aware also of yourself, because my downfall most times is my phone. I can be there, even say you reach school and you start scrolling anyway. So what I do, I can tell myself I'm not going to hold my phone until this time, or I can tell myself I am going to put it aside. Actually, when I put it away, I read way more. And then also, because it's a time thief, the concept of time thief, things that take your time without you noticing. So it's one of them. And yeah, so doing those perfect routines and being aware of your hours is a very, very key time management tip. Yes. And another thing is a concept I've recently learned. It's called time batching, like doing things that are similar in the same time. For example, like right now I have a YouTube channel, I have to edit videos, I have to shoot them, or I have to post something on Instagram, or so doing those related things like at the same time and then get done with them, it's good. And then first of all shooting, then reading, then shooting, like alternating, it just disturbs my mind. So learning this concept of like, okay, I shoot them say like 2 videos or 3, and then I edit them and say like during the weekend, or so that's like the other time is designated for other things. So time batching is a really good concept. Like if you have some things that are similar, do them at the same time, so that you actually you save way back. Let me share with you another concept that, wow, it's okay. It's called Pakistan's law. And law, it says that work expands to fill the time allocated to it. So the moment I say I have an assignment that is due to me on 8th of October, and then I tell myself I'm going to have a whole week to do it. This is a live example. And then, trust me, I will do that assignment in that time, that number of time. But if I tell myself I have 2 days to do it instead of a week, trust me, I'll do it in those 2 days. Okay, the whole thing is that if you give yourself 4 hours of doing work, you take 4 hours. If you give yourself 2 hours of doing work, you fix. That's like a concept of every student. Like I don't know if I should be proud of myself, but there are days when you have to read through the night before the exam. I read a whole 7 chapters in just a night. It's possible, trust me, I've done it. Yeah, anyway, so the thing is that when we put limited time to some activities, we shall fulfill them in that limited time. But if you give them time, it will lag. It will also feel that time you have allocated to it, honestly. And also, I'm not saying like allocate little time for a big amount of work. No, I'm telling you, it's a reality. When you put a fixed number of time, amount of time, you will achieve because you have that focused intensity to finish it. So that is Pakistan's law. It's quite relatable because I've seen it. The number of time when I limit, because I don't want to say I'm a last minute doer, like I do things on the last minute. I try not to, but we all fall victims because of procrastination, yeah. But in that time, we actually have that pressure and we do it. But imagine you put yourself in such a state and you finish your work earlier. It gives you more time actually to look through and everything. Yeah, so that's like, you can use it in the sense of like you put a deadline of your work before the actual deadline. Yeah, it sounds what? I don't know. Yeah, so you put the deadline earlier, you pull it earlier. In that, you have more time to go over in the other days. It's not easy, but please try it for better time management. Let me know how it turns out. One other tip, like this is a tip that all of us can try out, all of us can do. It's setting alarms and reminders for different events, like for different upcoming events, upcoming assignments. Trust me, most times I have to set an alarm, like to know what do I have this week, which things are major this week. Like it's good because we all get into life and we may actually an assignment can skip your mind, or a paper. I've seen people who miss papers because they had the wrong timetable or something. But imagine you had a reminder, an alarm, or something on your phone that could remind you. Trust me. Yeah, so reminders are very key. Even when you get lost on social media, you can actually just set a reminder. Okay, I've read a big topic or I've finished a big chapter. Okay, I'm not supposed to stay more than 5 minutes on this phone. So the moment it rings, you go back. Yeah, it's something that is doable, but it needs you to be focused. And yeah, so those are the time, like the tips, and also the tactics that I use. I have the 2-minute rule and also the 5-minute rule. The 2-minute rule mainly helps me to, there are those activities that I know that I can do within 2 minutes, or there are those things that I know I can do within the shortest time, like folding my clothes, or arranging my wardrobe, or doing something like the things that I know that I can do very fast, and I do them. I don't postpone them. I do them very fast because I can do them within those minutes. I postpone them, yeah. And then there's a 5-minute rule. Most times when I'm lazy, like a bit reluctant. Most times when I'm reluctant to do a certain assignment, I'll be like, okay. Then I count 5, 3, 2, like I count backwards. 5, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I just start. It just helps me, like every time that I getting out of my bed. Okay, the getting out of bed thing, I just thinking of the semester just gets me out of the bed. Yeah, but most times the 5-minute rule really helps, like get out. And also the tactic that I use is that I'm aware. At the end of the day, I do an evaluation of what I've done, what I've accomplished, what I have not, what is pending, what is due, all that awareness. And I think everything, like I've said, like there's time for everything. And also the one principle that I ran on is teach me to number my days, that I may apply a heart of wisdom. It speaks truth, because the days turn into years and the years turn into a lifetime. So if you don't know, and it's even a lifetime is made up of seasons, and it's very good to know the season you're in and what you're supposed to do in that. When you live that season, you'll be like, oh, I didn't waste that time, I actually fulfilled. If your season right now is being a student, use it, because it's not forever. And then also the season of your 20s, your years, like I like, this is like personal because I like knowing like, okay, I'm 20 days, so I want to achieve this by the age of this. So I have those kind of mini goals in managing my time, like, because I know managing my days, managing my months, managing my years results to a lifetime. So I have that cautiousness that yes, I have to be in such a place, I have to be doing this, because if I didn't do the things that's supposed to be in high school at high school time, I don't know how to go back to them right now. No. So I use most of the best that you have in such time like this. Yeah, so those are a few time tips, tools, and techniques, of course, and principles. I hope you've enjoyed, and if you have liked the video, please do subscribe and also share it on your statuses with different people. Yeah, so thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next video.